Good morning, Year 2. It's Wonderful Wednesday, and we're going to continue our learning about length. Today we're going to learn how to measure length in centimetres. I want you to have a look at the ruler that's presented on the In Focus task. Talk to your adult about what is the length of the ruler, and more importantly, how do you know? Pause the video so you can discuss. Hopefully you managed to discuss about the numbers that you can see on this ruler. And you can clearly see there are two scales which are exactly the same, just on either side of the ruler, so it can be used either way round. And we can see that the ruler starts at 0 centimetres and continues regularly at the same interval up to 15 centimetres. The centimetre is a smaller unit of length than the metre that which you learnt about on Monday. We write cm for centimetre. The centimetre ruler is 15 centimetres long. Now talk to your adult about when we might measure objects in centimetres and why, especially compared to the metre ruler we learnt about yesterday. So let's have a look at how we measure using a ruler that shows us length in centimetres. We want to know how long the pencil is. You can see underneath that the length of the pencil is about 12 centimetres. It's not exactly 12 centimetres, but we can say about 12 centimetres. Now, it's really important to remember when you're using a centimetre ruler that you always put the item or the object or the line that you're measuring at the 0. And you can move the ruler easily to make sure that the end of the object lines up with the long line representing 0 centimetres. You then need to put the ruler against the object in a straight line, or as straight as possible, until you reach the end. And if you imagine your line, your ending of your pencil, okay, going straight down, we can see it's just short of 12 centimetres. But for sake of today, we're going to say it's about 12 centimetres long. Can you find a pencil or a pen in your house? Have a go at measuring it using the ruler to practice, starting at 0 and then seeing what the length of your object is. We can see a big red paper clip, and again we want to know how long the paper clip is. Talk to your adult to discuss. What do you need to remember about how you measure using a ruler showing centimetres? That's right. The length of the paperclip is about 5 centimetres long. If you look really closely, it's just above 5 centimetres, but we're looking at rough measurements. I would be happy for you to say that is 5 centimetres long. Let's look at the height of the carton of milk. Now this is tricky because the image of the carton of milk is a 3D image. So if you look closely, some black dashed lines have been drawn to show you the bottom of the milk carton, starting at the 0 centimetre measurement, and a dashed dotted line at the top of the picture to show you the height of that milk carton. The height of the milk carton is about 15 centimetres long. Now this one's a little bit trickier, and I wonder if you can think about why. We want to know how long the colouring pen is. If you look closely though, the pen is not at the 0 mark. Does this matter when measuring the length of objects? It doesn't, you're right. It's easier if it does start at 0, because then we can just see where the pen ends and therefore find out the length of the pen. But we can see clearly from the picture that the lid of the pen starts at 3 centimetres and finishes at 10 centimetres. So we can simply count the number of units from 3 centimetres to 10 centimetres. Let's do it. Are we ready? Like a number line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some of you may have noticed that 3 needs 7 more added to it to make 10. That's called using your number bond knowledge. So we can say there are 7 units from 3 centimetres to 10 centimetres. Therefore, the length of the pen is 7 centimetres. If we made sure that we started at the 0 when measuring practically, again, we'd have the same measurement. It would still be 7 centimetres. Now, just be careful with this one because there might be some questions a little bit later that trick you out by not starting at 0 centimetres. Okay, an activity for you to complete at home to practice your measuring. Now you do need, if you've got one, the tape measure from yesterday that measures up to 1 metre, and also a ruler that might measure 15 centimetres or up to 30 centimetres. Now, what I want you to do is work with a partner or an adult, and I want you to guess the length of each body part mentioned in the table and then measure it. So guess the length, the width of your index finger. Your adult will show you which one your index finger is if you're not sure. The length of your hand, the length of your foot, and the length around your head. Now you might need to think about how you're going to measure the length around your head because it's a round object and unfortunately not all of our rulers bend very well. Tell your partner what your guess is, and then I want you to actually measure it. Are you going to use the centimetre ruler to measure these body parts, or do you think the tape measure is better? Or are you going to use a bit of both? Compare with your partner who has the longest foot, or the longest hand, or the widest index finger. And then tell your partner why you think measuring in centimetres might be best for these body parts as a child. And maybe would the centimetres or the metre ruler be best if you're an adult, and why? Okay, so for guided practice where you can talk to your adult and discuss what you're doing, I'd like you to have a go at using a ruler to measure the length of the rubber. Okay, now I've got an interactive ruler here to help those of you who don't have access to printing out this page. So I'm going to use my ruler starting at 0 at one end to measure the length of that rubber. And you should be able to clearly see there where the orange part of the rubber ends. Record it in your book. We're then going to have a go at measuring the height, the length of the cup. Okay, again, I'm going to use my ruler. If I move it over here, so make sure it's in line with the top and the bottom. How many centimetres in length is that bucket? Let's move that out of the way. Okay, question 2. We've got 3 pencils, the orange pencil A, the yellow pencil B, and the blue pencil C. Underneath you've got a picture, part of a ruler, okay, that goes from 0 to 10 centimetres. Can you have a look at that diagram really clearly and tell me about how many centimetres long those 3 different pencils are? Just watch out for pencil C because it's there to try and trick you. And for question 3, have a go at circling the correct answer. The length of a swimming pool is 10 centimetres or metres. So that requires you to think logistically, think about real life swimming pools. Measure 10 centimetres on your ruler, measure 10 metres on your tape measure. Which one do you think is more likely to be the length of a swimming pool and why? And the same for question 3B. My sister is about 90 centimetres or 90 metres tall. Again, measure it using your ruler and your tape measure. Which one do you think is more likely to be true and why? Okay, so your independent learning today, you've got quite a few questions where you are required to measure length in centimetres. Now, you've got, luckily, some rulers directly underneath the pictures, so you don't need to use your ruler, but if you want to, so you can practice, then please do. Have a go at filling in the blanks of the statements for question 1A, B, and C. These are all on the school website if you wish to print them out. Question 2. Can you fill in the blanks for the length of the key, the masking tape, and the pencil? Look carefully at the diagram because one of them is tricking you. And for question 3, you have to use a ruler to measure the length and the width of the rectangle below and fill in the blanks. Now, for those of you who haven't been able to print this out, I'm going to use the interactive ruler here to help you. Okay, so let's first of all measure the length of the rectangle. I'm not going to tell you the answer, just going to use the ruler to help you. Okay, so there's the length of the ruler. And question 3b, what's the width of the rectangle? And I've put my ruler there for you to help measure. Okay, question 4, you're going to have to go on a bit of a hunt around your house because you need to find a spoon, a newspaper or a magazine or a book, maybe a rug or a playmat you've got at home, a television and somebody's slipper, whether that's your slipper, mum's slipper, dad's slipper, grandma's slipper, or a little brother or sister's slipper. First of all, I want you to guess the length of each object in centimetres. Then using a ruler to measure them, write down the actual length of the objects. Question 5. This question requires you to think again logistically about could they be metres or could they be centimetres? You might want to measure it out on your ruler or your tape measure to help you answer them. But can you circle the correct answer? 5a. My brother is about 1 metre or 1 centimetre tall. Question 5b. A mobile phone is about 15 metres or 15 centimetres long. Question 5c. The length of a swimming pool is about 50 metres or 50 centimetres. Question 5d. My finger is about 6 metres or 6 centimetres long. And question 5e. The height of a door is about 2 metres or 20 centimetres long. Question 6. Can you fill in the blank boxes with either cm for centimetres or m for metres? Okay, and again, you're going to have to think about things that you know from real life to know whether it's going to be a centimetre measurement or a metre measurement. 6a, the height of a giraffe is about 6 what? B, the height of a stool is about 50 what? C, the length of a belt is about 1. And D, the length of a book is about 30. So are you going to write centimetres or metres there? Okay, those of you who want to challenge yourself, do a little bit of extra learning. Again, these focus on your explanation and reasoning. Choose a variety of objects and practice measuring them using a centimetre ruler. Remember to line up the object to the 0 mark on the ruler. For example, how long is the pencil to the nearest centimetre? Again, think about the objects you're going to measure and is it appropriate to measure those objects in centimetres, or would some of the objects you choose be better to measure in metres and why? Extra challenge 2. Can you draw a line that is 5 centimetres long? Can you draw a line that is 8 centimetres long? Can you draw a line that is longer than 4 centimetres but shorter than 7 centimetres? You might want to get your adult or older brother or sister to challenge you to some more activities like this, especially the third one. And extra challenge 3. How long is this piece of string? How could you find out? Does the length of the string change if you change the orientation? That means if you change the way that it's laid out, would the length of it change or not? I can't wait to hear your ideas on what you might do to measure a piece of string. And the last challenge. Mo has used the ruler to measure the length of the car. Mo says the car is 8 centimetres long. Do you agree? Can you explain your answer? Maybe you could write a success criteria for what Mo needs to remember when he measures the length of an object next time. That's it for today, Year 2. Enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you on Friday.